So, at Manor Farm today, across 3 lakes, I believe there was 25 of us fishing today. So, Ash Pool, Middle Pool, and Boundary. Now, I've been lucky to draw peg 21 on middle. 19's not in, so I'm an M peg, so happy days. It was a bit slow to start off with, to be honest with you. I chucked to the bomb and bread like most people. Never had a bite. So then just chucked the method feeder, little tiny Preston ICS method down to the rushes, and I think on my third cast I've hooked this big carp. I'm not sure if it was foul looked, but I did see it. So it's a big common, about 8 pounds, and unfortunately it has broke me, which is a bit frustrating. So not the best to start, so that unfortunately has cost me. To be honest, we've had a real nice day. I mean, mainly catching stockies, like the old sort of stock F1s, so like sort of like pound and a half ones, so not like real tiny ones. So that's been good. I wasn't sure if I was doing the right thing by fishing a little method. Maybe I felt, I don't know, it's really awkward. I felt if I fished a method, I'd definitely catch like F1s and maybe odd carp. I felt if I fished just a bomb and single hook bait, then potentially all I'm going to catch is carp, and I may like miss out on bites, if that makes sense. So chucking the bomb and bread out to begin with no bites, no liners, and obviously chucking the method like I say on my third cast, then maybe the fish did want a bit of feed. But yeah, I did chuck single hook baits and didn't catch, so I think I've done the right thing. So literally just fished 2 mil carp pellets. So just fished the Hinders carp pellets and just put water on them, nothing fancy, so just soaked some micros basically, and then just fished a 6 mil banded pellet. So again, carp pellet, nothing special, on a lasso, so nice and simple and neat. And that was it. Most bites sort of come 5 minutes, looking back at the video, because obviously this has all been edited. So yeah, it was good. Could not get the pole to work really. Pinging pellets I felt was definitely the right thing to do to try and draw some fish into your peg. But I don't know, they've caught well on the other bank. Neil's won the lake with 80 pound. I come second on the lake with 78 pounds. So Neil was second overall, I was third overall, and fair play Glyn Picton, I can't believe I got his name wrong. He won the match on peg 7 on Ash with 93 pounds, so fair play to him. Cracking weight that is. So yeah, looking forward to going there tomorrow. It's on Island and Ash. I think there's about 20 of us fishing, so unfortunately there are going to be a few poorer pegs, so fingers crossed that I continue drawing well. So the last few matches have been quite nice. I've had a few decent pegs and caught some fish, but you got to take the rough with the smooth. One weekend I literally blanked, never had a bite, and then the next match I come second to last, so you've got to take the rough with the smooth, I'm afraid, especially this time of year. So just really important when you're fishing a lasso that you use a real soft net. But ideally I like a mesh, a net with no hole, so just a mesh net, so therefore that your lasso just can't get caught at all. So that just obviously saves your tackle. I did have a maggot line as well, so I did kinder in some maggots on the pole, like 40.5 metres down out of the way. And I was able to loose feed maggots via a catapult over the top, but just did not produce. All I could catch was like little tiny roach, and Chris next to me unfortunately suffered the same fate. So I don't believe that there was loads of fish down this end. I mean, I feel they've just backed off, and obviously if you look at me now and you look in the distance, you can see there's a big clump of reeds. So obviously I've chucked it, that's got to be, I would imagine, 40 yards maybe. So obviously, I've got a hell of an advantage to have an end peg with so much room. So fish have just backed off. So I've just used that to my advantage, really. There was fish topping to the left of me, and then there was fish topping in front, and then they just sort of disappeared, to be honest with you. So a bit of a strange day, I guess, because it's just been so cold through the week that obviously, I'd imagine the lake was frozen. So yeah, the water's going to be ice cold. So hopefully we'll have a couple of days where it'll be mild, and hopefully the fish will start to feed again properly. The pole wasn't great. I just, like I said, I couldn't catch. I did catch a few F1s, small F1s late, and unfortunately I did lose a carp, so carry watching the video. Unfortunately lost a decent fish as well, played about a minute, and unfortunately it's come off, which is a bit frustrating. It did actually break me. The trouble is there's a real big carp in this lake, and then there's lots of F1s and skimmers, just sort of trying to get a bit of balance with tackle. If you fish too heavy, you eliminate catching F1s and skimmers, and then if you fish too heavy, or too light, then you run the risk of unfortunately getting broke. So, obviously if you're on a master carp, you step the gear up accordingly. But it did fish well in places, but it was definitely tough. just a skimmer on hard pellets, just fished a lasso for. And with going on the pole, even though it's not as productive as I'd hope, obviously it rests the feeder line, because it wasn't solid. I couldn't plunder it for 5 hours, which I wish I could. Maybe like the perfect match, but yeah, it's a proper carp here, so I've sped it up because I felt it would be a bit boring just watching me play this carp a bit gingerly. But yeah, fought really hard, to be honest. But there's a lot of commons in here. Big common carp. So I had to use a big net, so kitted up 2 landing net heads, 1 small one, and then a proper one just in case I was lucky enough to catch one of these big carp, which I did. Should have had 2 really. No point crying over spilled milk. So I'd imagine this fish was probably about £12 maybe. So all in all, had a pleasant day, plenty of bites, so I can't grumble. Nice and simple fishing. It'd be great when these, did I catch a few little stockies, it'd be great when they get bigger. So this is me hooking a carp and unfortunately losing it. So I don't want to paint the picture that I'm so great at fishing at it and everything's always perfect. Very rarely you get the perfect match, to be honest. Well, I never get the perfect match. I thought I'd be lucky really, because it's sort of like his initial run sort of controlled. It's heading towards the road, and then I sort of gently steered it away, and then just decided to not like fast. You knew it was a big fish. Decided to slowly but surely go out into the middle of the lake. And obviously, I should have followed it a bit better, but I was hoping it would turn, but it didn't. Well, I hope you've enjoyed the video. Here's all the weights, so it might be worth pausing if you want to look at each individual weight and stuff. So take care, I'll catch you soon, see you again.